The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. So, when we grow, we continue to grow. I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about the things that we love to teach. And she was telling me, she says, I really love to teach prosperity classes because prosperity classes, it's really easy to see a demonstration, right? And in mental science, the one thing that we can bank on is the demonstrations that we see. And the thing about prosperity is it's immediate. When our consciousness changes, it's reflected in our experience of our own personal prosperity. So, this is her juice, because when students learn, they demonstrate. When a mind is stretched, it never returns to its original smallness. So, if we're wanting to demonstrate, if we're wanting a greater experience of it, then through the power of our imagination, then it's on us to begin to expand ourselves, our imagination, our ideas, to encompass the thing that we desire. Again, Ernest Holmes writes this: "The one who wishes to demonstrate some particular good must become conscious of this particular good if he wishes to experience it. Therefore, he or she must make themselves and their mind receptive to it, and they must do this consciously. There is no hocus pocus in a mental treatment. It is always definite, conscious, concrete, and explicit. We are dealing with intelligence and should deal with it intelligently." So here's my question, or one of my questions. Let's look at our life as a story, as a good book. And like every good book, there are 4 characters that make it interesting and exciting and keeps our attention to it. The first is every good story has a victim, right? The victim is someone who lives at the effect of things outside of themselves. In many ways, victims have sort of given up hope of anything better or bigger than the life that they live. Then there's the hero. And the hero often begins like a victim. Have you ever noticed how many stories you've read where the hero is an orphan or is down on their luck or something? But something happens to the hero. They begin to imagine their life bigger, and they grow. And of course, every story has a villain. The villain is that which pushes against. The villain's job is to challenge the hero to be their very, very best, because the story is all about the hero. But there's another part of every good story. Even though there's a villain harassing the hero, even though the hero has moved from victimhood to herohood, he doesn't do it alone. She doesn't do it alone. No great person receives or experiences the fullness of their life alone. There's always a guide. The guide is that which loves us, cares for us, is wise, and points the direction. So all of us have this little voice inside of our head that says that there is no little voice inside of our head, and it's always telling us how we can do things better. We're all familiar with it, right? It's called the inner critic. In many ways, it's the villain. But how many of us have developed our inner guide, that which is wise and loving and cares about us? And so here's my assignment for the week, is to make the decision. You are the hero in your own story. Say this: I am a center of divine consciousness within the vast whole. That is your affirmation. That is each and every one of our statements of truth. Say it often. I am a center of divine consciousness within the vast whole. And then open yourself to guidance. That inner voice within you that knows the way. This is the divine. But what you'll also find is that guidance will show up almost everywhere. As my teacher used to say, cooperators are standing by. If we're open, a sunrise, a play that we watch, company of someone that we're with, a book that we discover, a song that we're listening to will point the way. We are all guided. If we open ourselves to this, it will show its way to it. When our perception changes, our experience expands. And once our consciousness expands, it will never, ever, ever return to where it was. Once we become a hero, we will never, ever live as a victim again. Thank you.